What's good, everybody? What's going on, man? It's Stephen Qualls II, aka Mr. Qualified. It's your boy, and we're back for season 5 of Qualified TV. Man, it's been a little bit of a break since season 4, but I'm ready to get back into it. And one of my first guests, first guests, extremely excited to have this brother on, man. My first time talking to him, my first time really meeting him, so really happy to see where the conversation goes. But go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody, bro. Let the people know who you are, and then we'll jump right into the discussion, man.
Yo, what's good? First and foremost, thank you for having me, Stephen. Aka Mr. Qualified. My name is Nile, Nile. I'm an alternative hip hop artist from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And yeah, man, I appreciate being on the platform.
For sure. Absolutely. Y'all know how I feel about getting people from the city on the podcast, man. So always got to put on for people who are coming out of Milwaukee, man. And yeah, let's just jump right into it. So you said alternative hip hop right off the bat. So when you fell in love with music, do you feel like you fell in love with the sound of alternative? Was that always the lane you knew you wanted to go, or was your love for music kind of fueled or ignited by something else?
I want to say it was kind of both. First and foremost, my brothers, my older brothers, when I was growing up in the household and shit. Am I able to cuss? I ain't
You
been
good.
no
Yeah, you good. You good.
when I was growing up in the household and stuff, before life kind of took an unfortunate turn, in a lot of people's like lives, in my mom's household. Um, you know, they was listening to Lil Wayne heavy, like the Hot Boys. That was a thing. You know what I'm saying? Hot Boys, Lil Boosie, all that stuff. And I'm into anime and stuff. So like, I used to like to draw, you know what I mean? I used to like to watch the anime itself, play with the little toys, play the games and shit. So their intros would usually be rock bands or pop bands, like Asian rock or pop bands, you know? So I
Yeah.
used to love the openings and the way the music sounded because I didn't know what it was, but I just knew that it moved me. So I always was like into like hip hop as well. So I guess in a sense, like I was always into like not the non-traditional route of music sometimes too. You know what I'm saying? Like again, I love the whole like Lil Wayne, Hot Boy era, the Carter era, the drought when he was going crazy doing his thing. Cause to me, being able to be one of the best lyricists and like being able to borrow with anybody and like stand on your own too is always been amazing. But I also love that like, there's always different ways of it too. It wasn't just one strict format of how to make hip hop.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with both of them at the same time, like different type of music and hip hop at the same time. So that's why I became an alternative hip hop artist because I know me personally, I don't just lyrically rap all the time about just coming from the struggle or something. I could just be talking about maybe having a good day. I could be talking about something that I ate and that could then inspire a whole song, or I could be talking about my favorite color and it could be something in a way where you'd be like, damn, what is he talking about something? What is this song? What does this mean? What is he saying? And it could really be something that mean a lot to me, but to a lot of other people, if they don't understand or really even know who I am and stuff, or I guess you could say, really care about the subject matter as much, they wouldn't even understand what I'm saying a lot. So that's what I do.
For sure. Absolutely, man. And no, that makes sense. I think I'm hearing and I'm learning a lot more. That one is really dope to hear that a lot of how would I say it? Like a lot of I don't want to like limit it to just men because I know that like a lot of women are interested in it as well. But I've been finding a lot more like men like in their mid to late 20s like actually either have become fans of anime or were fans of anime like from their childhood, and that's had a heavy influence in what they're doing and how they're going about and how they're approaching what they're doing today. And I think
Yeah.
that's really cool because that I don't know if I would call it taboo. I think that would be a bit of a strong word, but it's not stereotypically what is expected for
Mhm.
for black boys to be into. But I think that's really cool, and I think that's really dope when people can turn something like that or add something like that or add elements of it into their passions. When do you feel like you started taking the art of making music seriously, or when did you know like I'm actually putting all my energy, effort, and intention into becoming a hip hop artist or alternative hip hop artist?
Ninth grade. So from like sixth grade to ninth grade, I would enter like talent shows. You know what I'm saying? I was going to a high school. I'm not gonna name drop them because I really, that's how I feel about that whole like era of my life.
Yeah.
But I was going to a high school. A homie of mine's named Nelson. This was during like ninth grade. We got together and we did our version, an edited version, like a remix to Tyga's 187 featuring Rick Ross.
Mhm.
And that year, I ended up winning talent show with my guy Nelson, and the year after that, I ended up going to high school of the arts to pursue my career in music. But before that, for years, my teachers, I had like two teachers, Mr. V and Mr. Meyer, and they were both telling me like they seen every time, like every year, like dude, I could tell your mind isn't into like this school, like there's no opportunity really for you. And every year I would enter the talent show, and it would seem like I was getting closer and closer to winning. And they just love what I was doing. You know, they seen that again uh, I had a future in what I wanted to do. So they kind of was steering my steering me to they was pushing me to try to go to high school of the arts for the longest, and I was like not really thinking too much about my like career at the time. I was just like, I don't know. I think I just want to, and I was just too comfortable. And I ended up winning talent show ninth grade, which was like 2012. And then the year of 2013, like I said, I ended up auditioning for High School of the Arts. My my creative writing teacher, Mr. Brush, rest in peace his soul. He had told my mom when she called up there and asked, well, when would I be able to transfer? And he told me, oh, we can receive him right away. Like whenever you guys are ready to transfer, I'll take him right away. And from that moment forward, like I was really taking my music career serious. Like I went from going to somewhere where there really was no like real what's that like no
Outlet.
real program, huh?
Mm. I said outlet. I was just
Oh
guessing.
yeah, that too. Yeah, you're right. It was no real outlet slash like programs for what I could be pursuing and what I could be focusing my energy on to a school that had nothing but endless opportunity. You know what I'm saying? And so I was able to from there, I was a part of a band. You know what I'm saying? I was like lead vocalist, a part of a band, and we play auditorium shows. We play like little private events. We did a lot, and I was just again like pursuing my career since that.
Okay. Yeah. No, that sounds like a really transformative time. Do you feel like you would have had the trajectory, or that your career would have been like what it's been to this point if you hadn't transferred schools at that time?
Oh, definitely not. I feel like if I didn't transfer at that time that I did, I would have played myself of an actual career. And it's not to
Mhm.
say that, some people can't start their career later on or, stuff like that. But I was, when I say I was not really going out, I was really not doing much for myself, like as far as like really getting to see the world and stuff. I was
Mhm.
probably just on the block going to school. I was working at Taco Bell at the time and shit. And, hanging with my friends on the block, bro. We was all kind of just, just young, young nerdy, like just innocent kids in a sense, doing kind of hooligan shit. So
Mhm.
I was content, but I had to find a way to break that cycle mentally, and it was kind of scary to go from a private school to NPS, but it was beautiful because it showed me that NPS has so many different colors. You know what I'm saying? So many different like faces, so many different opportunities, so many different things that a private school wouldn't be able to offer you just because um it's there. You know what I'm saying? It's so many people around like the city of Milwaukee going to these schools, and yeah, you get people doing that in private, but again, this is an art school. You know what I'm saying? Where they provide so much, and it went from me catching a school bus to I could catch the city bus to school. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Not
Yeah.
saying I could do that before, but it was more encouraged as a young black man, being like, yo, you going to NPS school and it's arts program going there, like, you got a lot to stand for if you really like pursue it and really make it in this like type of field. So that's what I ended up doing, and I'm excited that I took that leap of faith to actually get up out of that old situation.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely, man. So when do you feel like was the moment that maybe not that you felt like your career took off, but it was your first moment of like, okay, I'm moving in the right direction. It's my first kind of accomplishment in this space that makes me feel like I'm on the path I'm supposed to be on.
Um, I want to say my first real big accomplishment where I felt like things were really changing for the better had to been um I think I did Brady Street Festival in 2018.
Okay.
It's like a local festival that goes on in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, every year. Um you get paid to do it, you know what I'm saying? And I had, just moved into my own place for the first time that year, like the same month.
Okay.
So or no, not the same. I moved into my place for the first time, literally right after that. So I did the festival, and then like a week or two after that, I moved into my place, which is crazy. But um, yeah, I played Brady Street Festival, I believe 2018. The first time I really was able to step into the real world in Milwaukee, where it's a scene here for live music and stuff, you know. And I was able to cash a check after performing that. I was able to perform my own like music, whether it's explicit or whatever, at this festival. You know, it just really felt like I was in charge of my career for the first time. You know what I'm saying? And um, yeah, I felt free. I felt like I was doing everything I wanted. So I want to say 2018 was when I felt like things really started to shift for me, because I was able to see what I could really accomplish and things I could really do in the music field.
Okay. Yeah. No, that. So how was that? Trying to figure out how I want to ask it, but what did that do for your confidence, or what did that do for you, for your self-esteem in regards to, because I can only imagine the path of being an artist in general, but just trying to find your lane and then also figure out, I'm assuming early on, what what progress and what success looks like for you, because obviously not everybody overnight reaches the the biggest stage of popularity or recognition. So what did that mean for you in that moment? Obviously it was one of your first times really being able to like display your talents, especially in your hometown, but what did it feel like in regards to, what did that step mean? I guess that's what I'm trying to ask for you, if that question makes sense.
No, that makes a lot of sense. Well, it was a couple things on the checklist that I had learned when I had got booked for Brady Street in 2018. One of the major things was I learned how to send emails. You know, the I don't have a manager or management right now. So the most important thing that you can do is they call it networking, where you meet people, you keep relationships, you build relationships, and you continue to keep grooming these relationships where you guys grow and you guys have like a really good understanding later on down the line, where sometimes you're like first suggested over a lot of people just because you built these relationships networking.
Mm.
Um, just to kind of backtrack a little bit, just to answer that a little bit, like I said, 2013, 2012 is kind of when I went to the arts.
Mm.
From then, I had to do a lot of like developing myself, the sound, trying to figure out what I want to do, how I want to sound, stuff like that. Early on, I was really questioning a lot of what I was doing as an artist, and trying to figure out what worked for me, you know?
Yeah.
And so from then all the way to when I was able to move 2018, like, you know, putting on festivals, doing shows with big artists in the scene, being mentioned with a lot of people in conversation, it got to a point because I was the fly on the wall in a lot of these situations. So I was able to do a lot of, like I said, like, you know, grooming relationships and learning how to send emails, learning how to be just a fly on the wall, being in the rooms that you ain't supposed to be in, that people don't tell you to be in. You know what I'm saying? Like you
Yeah.
gotta like literally learn and gain these skills as an entrepreneur, because if you really want to be successful and have a successful business, you have to go make your life every day about what you're trying to do. You know, it can't
Yeah.
be no plan B's, it can't be no excuses to what you're trying to do or accomplish. You have to really put yourself in rooms and situations where it's obvious that this is what you're supposed to have done. You, like you said, you're not going to see a turnout overnight, but 2018 is when I told you I did Brady Street. Fast forward 2023 now, I was headlining plenty, you know, local festivals last year, you know what I mean? So I was able to do that. I opened up for Pusha T last year at the rave. I just opened up for NLE Chopper, Homicide Gang, and Destroy Lonely at Summerfest. Like I even just opened up for the Souls of Mischief, you know what I'm saying? So it's just a lot of different things that you get to a point to accomplish in your life when you're again, watering these relationships, planting the seeds, and working on yourself every day.
Absolutely. And first and foremost, congratulations on all those opening shows, bro. I mean, that's dope. That's amazing just to have that type of exposure. I can only imagine. I really like something you said in regards to not having a plan B. I feel like, well, for anybody in any type of entrepreneurial space, I feel like that mentality, they've either said they had it, or they said that things changed when they developed it. So talk about a little bit from your perspective what that not having a plan B mean, because I think it's different. I think having a contingency plan or having some type of backup versus a plan that you're kind of invested in. At least that's how I would say it, right? Like you have your plan A, right? And you have something in mind for if plan A doesn't work for whatever reason, but you don't really think about it until you cross that bridge, because plan A is the sole focus. That's how I kind of look at not letting that plan B get too much in the way. But I wanted you to expand on that a little bit in regards to what that mentality and mindset looks like for you in terms of not really having a plan B and just really being super intentional and focused on making what you want to happen.
Well, first and foremost, it's all about manifestation. Manifestation is the strongest form of um it's the strongest form of like uh putting your plan A first that you could ever really do, because if you're speaking it into existence, if you're thinking it into existence, if you're, you just moving like it's happening, it's gonna happen for you. Now, I'm not gonna say like, you know, I'm gonna be a millionaire tomorrow, and then I wake up and I'm a millionaire. It might work for somebody like that, but you have to be positive, because the moment anything negative does come into that space where you are using your conscious to only speak nothing but positivity into what you're trying to breathe and bring it to life, um, it gets hard. So, I mean, yeah, I didn't have multiple jobs. Like I told you, like it's been almost what, like 10 years, since I really took my career real serious, and things have been happening. But in the last 5 years, I've been very intentional about everything I'm doing. So manifestation is everything, and you have to never let anything discourage you. We are creatives, so whether you're doing your podcast, me being an artist, I mean, you're an artist too technically, because this is your podcast. This is what you're creating. You're creating a platform for people. Um, a videographer, a dancer, anybody. If you don't wholeheartedly believe in what you're doing, you're going to technically be wasting your time. So I didn't have multiple jobs over the last 10 years, but I always knew that job was either supposed to fund my career that I want to do, or it was going to be just a stepping stone a little closer to, like, okay, I had to take a break. Maybe I had to reset. I'm going to come back and come fresh with the job. I mean, no, not the job, with the career, because the job is just supposed to be something for me to like use as fuel to talk about, maybe in a song, or use to kind of just like save up a certain amount of money so that way I can fund what I got going on, or what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
because we don't, as far as the field I'm in, I don't get paid right away to do what I want to do. Um, Again, I was able to do Brady Street Fest, and I was able to receive some type of payment in 2018. But now, after that, the goal is, how do I continue to keep getting paid so I can make that an actual income, so that way I can go home and I can create full time, you know what I'm saying, and make
Yeah.
the music and art pay for itself. So yeah, man, I just never think about a plan B, man. I never think about like what happens if I fail, because if I think about what happens if I fail, I'm spending my energy on the wrong type of thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, I wholeheartedly believe in manifestation, bro. Like, you have to literally speak it into existence, believe it's gonna happen, and you have to move with every intention of this is going to work. And it's been working for me so far, man. Like, God has blessed me with endless opportunities, man. I can't do nothing but thank the Most High for my opportunities.
Yeah, no, I love that, man. Manifestation, excuse me, is definitely key. And yeah, that mindset is just really important, bro. Yeah, being in this space as well, you have to really. There's going to be so many things kind of telling you or trying to remind you or trying to convince you that you either shouldn't be doing this or that you're wasting your
Yep.
time because you're not seeing a particular result, or because you're seeing other people maybe in the space get a little
Mm-hmm.
bit more, do things that you want to do, or things that you got on your list or whatever. So that mindset is extremely key, man. Extremely key. I appreciate that
That's the
insight.
process. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Yeah, do
yeah.
that. Mm-hmm.
Wanted to shift a little bit back to something you mentioned before, in terms of when you were kind of developing yourself and finding your sound. Speak a little bit more to that process, and what was kind of what's been the journey of where you feel like you started and how you got to where you are now. When did you kind of hit that groove of knowing that, okay, where I'm at now, how I'm moving, the aesthetic I have as an artist? What was the moment where you feel like you kind of fell into that or found out what that was and felt like it was something you could run with?
The moment I feel like I made the shift mentally as a creative, and where I figured out I knew who I was as an artist, is when I stopped using YouTube beats. Um, as a hip hop artist, and again, don't get me wrong, some hip hop artists they go there to brainstorm and get they sharpen their pen just in case there's not a beat or something made for them. But I believe, because I was going under a different alias at the time. And that was what we was doing when I was younger. So we was on the YouTube looking for beats, writing songs, making projects off of YouTube beats. Sometimes you go to a different event and you see somebody with the same beat, or hear somebody with the same beat, and you be like, dang, like, I don't want to perform now. Or you probably perform with somebody else looking at it like, dang, I had the same beat, so they gotta switch their set list or something around. But um it got to the point where people really started being like, "Oh no, I like what you did here. I like what you did there," and they started making beats that was custom made to like what they thought now, like you know what I'm saying.
Mm,
When it got to that point, I think that's when I realized what I was doing I was doing the right things. Um, the music I was making sense. I was able to make the appropriate choices because before you actually get to that point, you're still figuring out what you like and who you are as an artist. You're trying to figure out what you want to talk about. You want to figure out like what really makes you who you are. You just want to do a lot of like self reflecting until you get to the actual point. But and I can remember like it was yesterday, bro. Like the days it was snowing outside and writing the songs and just kind of being a fan of like certain artists and being like, man, I want to make music like this. And it's not that my music is like bad or it's not where it's supposed to be because I'm not done. I'm not perfect. I'm gonna still evolve and grow no matter how long I'm doing it.
mm,
But I think I have gotten to a point where I figured myself out a little bit and where I'm at. So I'm just appreciative again of the process. I'm in this music business to grow anyways, to be honest. I love the self mastery that it brings out of you if you look at it that way.
mm,
I know that I can make a really good song today, and then tomorrow I could probably make something that's really good too, but personable. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
Maybe it related to you because you was going through it as well, and we connected like that because both of our experiences they basically was like they was able to kind of relate. You was able to relate maybe about a father issue, maybe about a girlfriend issue, maybe about being broke one day, and you'd be able to be like, man, I resonate with that. Like I resonate with what you were saying and stuff like that. I've had those moments where certain people who've heard my music and came and told me how much they like really enjoyed what I said or the beat or something like that. So I'm just happy that it is working and I'm doing something right.
yeah, yeah, man. No, that self mastery piece is key, and I've never thought about it or used that term. But especially, I mean, I feel like in any space where you're creating, it's that ability to self master because you're consistently being your own critic, so you're
Mhm.
already looking at something and critiquing yourself harder than probably anybody else is. And then two, if
Yep.
you're a person that really embraces that journey and really wants to master something, whether it be a craft, whether it be some type of sense of self, yeah, that's a really interesting. I mean, you got a lot of ups and downs to it, but that's a really interesting journey for people that really want to attack it head on, and embrace it for sure.
I mean, honestly, especially in that space, right? I'm gonna speak on
Yeah.
that just a bit. For me, it gets really tough. I say that because unless I'm not gonna lie, I'm not really good at writing music unless I feel like I can relate to it in the sense where, again, maybe I might be a riddler. Might like I told you before earlier, maybe I might talk about something or say something you like, I don't know what that means. It sounds good though, I like it.
Mm,
But sometimes I talk about what happened to me at the age 12, and then I could be resonating with what happened to me, what's happening to me now, or maybe I could be talking about my, childhood, and I could be kind of, bringing it and making it relevant about what I'm going through today, and it could just be a lot of different things. I could be talking about somebody else's situation and bringing that into, you know what I'm saying? So, um, I'm very, very reflective when it comes to when I do make music. So it'd be real hard to just sit there and just be like, man, I got like 500 songs in the chamber, like, because I
yeah.
gotta really feel what I'm talking about. A lot of times, if I feel like I'm so detached from what I'm talking about, I start writing it and I never revisit it again because I feel like I'm so far removed from this that, I feel like this is not the vibe I'm trying to go for. This isn't, necessarily like what I want to talk about on wax. You know what I'm saying? But it does get to a point where, for me personally, if I'm not connected to it, if I'm removed from it, I never revisit it again or something like that. So,
Yeah, yeah, no, I feel that. I mean, I feel like creatives in general, like we're connected to our art in a lot of different ways. So because of that, because of how we critique ourselves, like that'll always be a part of the process and just a part of the self mastery aspect as well. Um, but yeah, so talk about let's get into your first project. So I really apologize for even having to ask, but how many projects do you have out currently? Or yeah,
are
that you
you
released?
good? You good? You ain't gotta apologize. I have about I want to say two mixtapes, one album, and like two EPs out. Right, I got one EP called Tomorrow. I released that over under my other streaming platform name, but the way I had kind of had it spelled, I had to kind of fix the marketing on it because I didn't want people like putting me on flyers or typing in on Google search a different way of spelling my name. So the EP, my first EP is called Tomorrow. The second EP is called Forest of Giants. And then my first mixtape was called Free Lunch. And then I have an album out called Nostalgia Everclear, which is on all streaming platforms right now. So yeah.
Absolutely. I did see that. So you released that relatively recently, like this year, right?
Yep, I released that March 18th. I was in Texas for South by Southwest. I
Okay.
was on my first official tour. Had my boy Fred the Black Kid opening it up for me on certain dates. And yeah, I had released that with the lead single, Where's That featuring Wave Chappelle, and then the second single, Breakfast featuring Mick Jenkins.
Okay. Man, Mick Jenkins. How'd you get that feature, man? And what was that process like?
Oh man, it was well, he does this Mick Jenkins features thing sometimes, where he'll drop an email and he'll get back to you if he liked the song. So I just hit him, what I'm saying? I've had homies in my circle who's actually been cool with homies in his circle. Kind of been like flirting with the idea of wanting to work with him for some years. And after I shot that email to him, kind of just gave him a little spill about me, kind of told him I listen to his music a lot. I told him I love to work with him if he's down. And I sent him some links. I sent him, a link to me opening up for Pusha T, my little YouTube link to that. I sent him my song Paper Out featuring Huey V, who's signed to Warehouse Music Group and Rock Nation. And then I also sent him, I believe, this song that I have out called You. And I'm pretty sure he checked it out and he hit me back and told me he'd be down to work. And from there the rest was kind of history. It was kind of like I had I got the beat produced by Hagen, bro. Shout out to my boys. They sent it to me. They sent me like a couple packs. Honestly, I told them like I don't want to disclose who I'm recording with until you guys sue me something, and I'm like, okay. So we ended up finding a couple of beats, and I had let them know. And then after that, I was like vibe with the beats, but I was very you know indecisive.
Hmm.
I was like, man, I'm like, dude, I want to do this, but if I send it to him, I don't want to feel like I'm gonna get a bad verse back. I don't want to get So I ended up having them make a beat or send me one more beat. The beat they sent me, it was Breakfast. I was like, man, this is exactly what I want. I told them how to modify it just a little bit for me, and I sent it over to Mick, and Mick got it to me and literally his verse back in 2 days. So that was kind of crazy to me. And you know, he shared it on his story, shared it on his Twitter for me and shit. Showed a little bit of love to it, and yeah, man, it was very, very. It was a touchy moment for me because my favorite artist of all time is him and Isaiah Rashad, and Isaiah Rashad for sure, and then of course Mick Jenkins because I love like the Chicago scene, but Mick is really like a dope lyricist, and his music is just great. So when I was able to get a chance to work with him, that was just amazing. It was like I'm working with one of my heroes, and that really like helped me kind of like up my confidence a little bit, and it kind of helped me like with my trajectory and my mental state of like, okay, yeah, I just did the Pusha T show. Now I got the Mick Jenkins feature on the album. I'm releasing that. I'm going on my own tour that I organized myself. And then on top of that, it was just like now I get to continue all this momentum. And then I come back home after tour, and the Bucks DJ and them is playing my song with me on the floor while the Bucks are warming up on the Jumbotron. You know what I'm saying? So Breakfast was playing on the Jumbotron featuring Mick Jenkins, and it was just all these big moments in my life, bro. Like it's just always been super like interesting to see like look at what happened when I took myself serious back in 2012. You know what I'm saying? It was like this gonna work one day. So I ain't like selling out shows or nothing yet, but the fact that it's literally gradually got to a point where I want it to be right now is like that's all I can ask for.
Yeah, no, that's amazing, man. I'm a real huge fan of Mick as well. When it comes to hip hop, bro, I'm just a fan of I was always a fan of lyricism. Like when it first started out, like I was just really big on like I don't know how I made this distinction so early, but I was like, I just like real rap. I like people who are rapping, who are give me a real strong 16, like give me the bars. But I also have grown to just appreciate good music and different music. So even getting into the alternative R&B or alternative hip hop space, like you said earlier in the interview, like music sounds so different and can have so many type of like foundational elements. So yeah, just appreciating good music is something I've tried to get better at as I've gotten older and just evolved as a music listener. But Yeah. So with that, what would you say was one of the biggest takeaways or one of the best feelings about that debut album for you?
Well, first off, it was a lot of things that check marked a lot for me. First and foremost, shout out to my boy Wade Chappelle. I feel like collaborating with him kind of showed a little bit about, bridging the gap in a sense, in the Milwaukee community. Because again, like, he's still hitting. Don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna say anything like, he's not, but when he was hitting back when he was doing his own thing, I wasn't around. I was more so a fan of the scene, looking to get into the scene. And so, fast forward to now, the fact that I'm able to be doing what I'm doing and he's able to support my career, whether he's done the song or not. And like, we are, I guess together in the sense as far as like homies now. That's the beautiful thing. It's like he's selfless, he's able to really like you know, be a big homie. Not too many OGs was able to really and I want to say OGs because again, like there is older people in the scene or whatever. Not a lot of people were able to really like, and this was he was a part of the album before Mick even I even got Mick on it. Mick's song was probably the last song literally on my album recorded. You know what I'm saying? So to even be a part of something like that and then come and be a Jedi master in the studio, like get your verse done within like 10, 15 minutes. And I bro, like I could tell you, bro, like I was literally in the studio for like an hour and a half trying to finish my verse. I'm like, dude, Wade finna pull up. I gotta have some type of fire. This song has to be hard. Or I know he's then they're gonna be like, you ain't got nothing else, or what I'm saying, probably play it off. As soon as he came in, he heard it. He was like, oh no, yeah, no, I'm fucking with this. I'm fucking with this. And then he literally lays his verse down. And I'm just like mind blown watching this shit. So, yeah, man, that to me was just real important because again, somebody that I looked up to really decided to want to be a part of something when I reached out, and it wasn't no boozy shit. It wasn't no Hollywood. It wasn't no. They didn't really see no vision behind it. None. He really fucked with me and really seen a future behind what I was trying to do. So, shout out to Big Homie, and I think the album itself being received the way it's being received, it's been performed so many times. People have been really liking the music. Like that's what it looks like when you take a chance on yourself, bro, and you really do what you feel like is worth it. I had about like 30 some plus beats working on this album for like the last year and a half. And the fact that it finally came together and it was only 16 minutes, yeah, it was short, but the fact of the matter is it was a great listen for a lot of people who just listened to me and people who've been hearing me, and it was a lot of maturity in it. So I'm excited about where it's going and where it's going to continue to take me.
No, that's what's up, man. Congratulations on the album as well. It's just I'm always excited for people who really like. I think about continuing to put podcast episodes out, and I don't until people say it, I don't think about it from the context of that being something that could be inspiring to somebody, or that being something that people look at and be like, damn, that's dope that you continue to go back and still do it. So when artists are actually able to put that album out and get that reception, that response, that lets them know like, man, like people are actually rocking with this. People see a future in this. People see what I've seen in myself all along. I know, to a degree, like how dope that feeling is. So man, definitely love that for you. How would you,
Appreciate it.
how, of course. How would you describe your sound?
Um, I just got this question asked me earlier. Of course, alternative, right? Alternative hip hop, but I'm very personable. I'm very honest. I'm very reflective. I feel like I was saying to you earlier, I can't really create unless I feel like it's coming from a genuine space, So whether it's a turn up song or something, that's cool. I can do that, give y'all a little one offs to two offs every blue moon or something. But I have to talk about something and try to paint some type of picture and show y'all like what I'm feeling while I'm listening to this song. So whether it's about me traveling, whether it's about me you know, going to a different city, whether it's about me doing a show, like I have to be reflective and let y'all know like what it was that inspired me, what made me write the song, and I hope like, to only paint that picture for y'all.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely, man. Let's see. I wanna have you talk about your artistry a little bit more, just so people can get a better sense of what goes into being you and how you've even developed into the artist that you have. How did you come up with the artist name?
So Nile, X Nile came about for a couple of different reasons. A couple of different things played a part of the transition of who I was. So I used to go by an old alias named Young Epic. I thought, man, that was like right before I became 18. Nobody's gonna take me serious. I need to kind of mature a little bit, right? So I was like, all right, cool. What names might sound way better than what I'm doing? Nile instantly stuck out. I don't have a personal relationship to the Nile River, but um the Nile is very, very important to its community, right? So the river is very important to the animals, to the people, to the plants. It's important to Egypt in general. So uh all of them have a spiritual connection as well as a relationship to it where maybe it's a resource, right? I want it to be the Nile when y'all hear my music, and I want to also like kind of teasy stick, you know, resonate with you spiritually and connect with you because again I want the music to again speak to you. I don't want to just make a song and you like, well, this didn't do nothing for me, right? I want it to when you hear it, like, no, I really felt like I was telling you earlier too, like damn, I could connect with this story a little bit because I'm going through a situation where maybe me and my girl are broken up right now, and maybe you know what he's saying, I definitely feel that and I felt that, and again, it's just different topics I just try to like again capitalize on because I know for a fact that's the type of music I go searching for. So I just try to be a lot of a reflection of myself through the music and the art, and I just hope to connect with my listeners every listen.
For sure. Absolutely, man. You kind of spoke on it, so I don't know if you'll expand on it or if it'll be a different answer. But what do you want people to get like when they listen to you? I know you just spoke about feeling that sense of like community, but would it be expanding on that, or would there be another way you would answer like what you want people to get from listening to you, what you want people to get from you if they call themselves or consider themselves a fan of your music?
I want them to. That's a good question. Thanks for asking that. I want people to, when they hear my music and take away from it, I want them to hear uh, how original I am. Like I could take certain elements from certain artists, but that's what we all do from in the hip hop game. That's if you could be a fan of Jay-Z, Nas, and whoever the case may be, and you might have little elements in different songs that you might imitate just because like you were a fan of that. You know what I'm saying? But I want people when they hear me to kind of be like, okay, no, he's different. You know what I'm saying? I like what he does because I'm into this type of art. And I want them to be able to take away that, yeah, I'm originally myself and I am, I'm fearless. I'm going to continue to do what I want to do in whatever community because, this is what I'm destined to do.
Man, gotta wrap with this. So again, like I've mentioned, and for those that watch, they know, and Qualified is a platform that is for people to tell their stories. I believe that everybody has one, and I believe that those stories being told are important because there are so many people who can relate, who are, if they aren't going through the exact same thing, they can relate to a certain type of struggle. They can relate to not being where they want to be. Maybe they can relate to maybe not feeling like people are receptive to what they're doing or that they're being acknowledged for what they're doing. And that can be a really like complex place for a lot of people to be in. So I think for a lot of people, hearing stories and seeing other people seeing their journeys, it's really, really impactful and helpful in terms of people kind of keeping their own dreams alive. So with that being said, and with everything that we've talked about, with everything that you've talked about, enduring and persevering through on your personal, journey as well, what would you say makes you as an artist qualified?
What makes me qualified as an artist is I exist in spaces that technically would tell me no.
Mm.
So my advice to anybody who wants to feel like what they're doing is qualified, to anybody who wants to continue to pursue their careers and just like really believe in themselves and trust the process, man, don't listen to none of that outside noise. You are your biggest critic, so you are going to have your own conversations with yourself. I'm sorry, hold on, I had to wait on
You
that too.
good. You good.
But yeah, man, you are going to have a lot of those conversations with yourself where um you go question a lot of what you're doing and wonder if this is the field for you. But I'm here to say I am living proof of being able to pursue what you want to do in the field that wouldn't even necessarily count you in, So that's why I feel like I'm qualified.
Absolutely, man. Love that answer. Existing in spaces where people would typically tell you no. I mean, I think that's huge in general for creatives, but I think even when you take that a step further and just think about us as Black people and as Black men specifically, I think that is That's major, man. That's huge. So thank you so much for that answer. Yeah, man, and thank you again for taking the time to allow me to interview you, bro. Like I said, kind of did it off a whim and was hoping we would be able to get something done, and glad we were able to get this turned around before you got super busy on us.
Make sure you stream Nostalgia Everclear right now. It's on all streaming platforms. The album is out featuring Wade Chappelle, Mick Jenkins, Mal Webb X, and yeah, it's just fire. Make sure you're watching it. Make sure you check out the album Nostalgia Everclear, the full version.
Absolutely, man. Thank you again for coming on. We'll have your social so people can definitely follow you. Definitely tap into all the things that he talked about and all the things that he said. Go stream. Definitely go support. You'll see him on the page, whether it be Qualified's page or my personal page. So definitely tap in whenever you see it, or take time to get to learn a little bit more for yourself. But yeah, if you made it all the way through the interview, thank you for that as well. And yeah, man, again, thank you. I most definitely appreciate you taking your time. Yeah, and until next time, I'll catch y'all on the next episode of Qualified TV. Peace.